This is After Ian.
Our final story by Tara Calligan celebrates some of the people and organizations who give aid where it's needed because it's who they are.
Even though each person living in Southwest Florida was dealing with some sort of damage following Hurricane Ian, vehicles swept away, loss of irreplaceable mementos, and in some cases, entire homes. Friends, businesses, and neighbors went above and beyond to step up and help their community. In the Harlem Heights neighborhood, a nonprofit called Gladiolus Food Pantry that was created to feed the community took on even more responsibility.
We're not just a food pantry, we give out more. Our volunteers are so kind. That's why people love coming here.
Miriam and what she calls the Big Green Building have been helping food insecure residents of Lee County since 2013. And despite Miriam's own home being almost underwater after Ian, she immediately thought of the food pantry.
I tried to walk in, I was water, it was mud, it was, we had to throw everything away. The water went into the walk-in fridge.
Close to 4 feet of storm surge destroyed the interior of the food pantry and the supplies inside. The pantry also sustained damage to the roof and lost their delivery truck. But 2 days after the storm, Miriam and her volunteers were already back in action.
People needed gas, grills, generators, clothes. If you needed something, you come here, we had it.
The Gladiolus Food Pantry was helping almost 665 families a day through November, according to Miriam. Even with her own home uninhabitable, Miriam says she knew where she needed to be.
So many people count on us. I don't know, I just had to do it.
Other nonprofits like Naples-based Better Together joined the food pantry in their mission to help some of the overlooked communities following Hurricane Ian.
We needed to get creative and bring supplies and resources to them because they didn't have the ability to get to the resources that they needed. We knocked on over 10,000 doors, and we really intimately got to know over 3,000 families with young children.
Though providing this sort of aid was new for Better Together, helping out the community following Ian was never even a question.
We could all do something and walk away knowing that we did the right thing, even when it wasn't convenient, when it was messy. And I think that's the importance of community. No one's going to be able to serve and love their community like the community and neighbors helping neighbors.
Neighbors Helping Neighbors is exactly what Gary Baker and Stu Spody did for their neighbors in Island Park. The pair have ridden out several storms together before, but never anticipated what Ian would bring.
Most of the Island Park community is a boating community. It was pretty tight-knit. We all know our neighbors, and we love the water back here. And we've definitely had some issues with water over the years, from Irma all the way through to Ian, like the roads flooding and stuff like that. So we're all kind of used to that situation back here, but just not to the level that what happened with Ian.
Gary built his Island Park home with hurricanes in mind.
That's been the standing joke when I built it. He said, "What are you building, a bunker?" And I said, "Just wait. 2 major storms now. It's pretty impressive that the new codes do work."
Gary and Stu estimate that their neighborhood was inundated with 10 to 12 feet of storm surge.
We get back in the house, and all I remember Stu saying is, "That's it. Nobody's going outside." And then his phone rings, and they said that Dolores and Tim were in their house. And we're like, holy cow, what do we do? At that point, we had to make a decision to either try to save them or let them die in their house.
From my last time over at the house, that water was flowing, and it was too strong to swim against. So I knew if we could find some lines, I could swim a line across, tie it off to that house, and then we would have an anchor point to bring people, back and forth.
Gary's son Adam joined the rescue effort and suggested using an inflatable raft as means to escort the elderly couple to safety. Once inside, the task was to find Tim and Dolores.
Tim, I asked him where his wife was, so we went in the back room. We found her. She was on a pool float almost to the ceiling. What I'm saying is, it's this deep, but you're climbing over furniture that's already floated, and you can't see the water because it's black. So it was kind of a fiasco to try and get her back out to the front door.
The three managed to get both Tim and Dolores out of the flooded home and escorted them through the current of surging waters across the street. When asked if they considered themselves heroes for putting their lives on the line to save their neighbors, they say it came down to pure instinct.
We can't just sit here and let somebody die, so I guess that was the definition of hero, but I couldn't sleep at night knowing our neighbor just died in their house.
I mean, anybody would have done it if they were in that situation.
The two friends are now forever known as heroes.
There are many more stories and more of holding our community leaders accountable as we rebuild after Hurricane Ian.
Please stay with WGCU as we continue to gather the news and present it at WGCU.org, on WGCU FM, and right here on WGCU PBS.
We want to say thank you to all for helping us tell the stories of Hurricane Ian.